countries.
Hey,
then.
Florida's living without a mask in sight. That's the one thing I was like, hey, you know what?
It's Florida.
It's Florida. And
They've
but
been
here's
do
the
a lot
thing.
of weird things.
But here's the thing. The South, that's what the South's going through. That's how they are. And it's kind of the saving grace because I guess most people's biggest fear right now is that they're going to just keep these masks and then whatever arbitrary restrictions for however long. But at least there's a portion of this country who is not living like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then just south of the border ain't living like that either because I was just in Mexico and they are alive.
Yeah,
They're alive and well
mask?
down there.
No mask?
Completely, what's the word? It's up to you.
Optional.
It's optional. Thank you. It's like I can't think of words today at all.
It needs to be optional.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't need to be a fight. You know what I mean?
Don't make it a federal mandate, Joe
Right.
Biden.
Seriously, that would suck.
I wonder what happened. I thought he said he was gonna do that in his first 100 days.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of things in his first 100 days. It just keeps going. It's like a constant.
Welcome to politics.
Right. It is. It's like, oh my gosh. And I hadn't paid attention up until last year. And I was like free. And my mind was, I was laughing and jokes all the time.
And once you welcome to politics, it ruins like everything.
You know, and so I don't exactly feel like I can justifiably complain about one candidate versus the other because it's just a constant. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much hypocrisy, and then if you take a side, then it's like
this is my stance on it. My stance is that both sides are full of shit.
They're liars.
Both liars. They're both lying to us. They both don't care about us. They don't. Because if you cared about us, if they really cared about us,
yeah,
they wouldn't feed us the bullshit that they feed us. They wouldn't be lying to us. You know, they wouldn't be making things that should be easy, quote unquote, hard.
Well, they create a lot of they on purposely create a lot of social division. I was listening to a podcast that were talking about this. Most people opinion resides in the middle. Most people are apolitical, and they're like, okay, there's things I really do like from a conservative point of view. There's things that I really do like from a liberal point of view. I don't think there is even one person that exists where all views are on one side. Maybe, but that could be, you could probably attribute that to a psychological condition if you're really that one-sided. And that's usually what it comes down to.
Just because social media is an awful
thing.
It's
social media
there's
creates
a lot of talking and
algorithm,
echo
chambers.
You're just saying the same. It's just like you're in a group of people just talking about the same thing. You all agree, have the same opinion, so you don't grow that way.
And so what they end up doing very well is convincing people or rather convincing people to have an expectation for the other. So there's this constant perception of other, and that's the enemy. And so now that's why the mask thing has become a thing of ego in this country. Yeah. That's why it was so great being in Mexico, because they didn't have any political affiliation with the mask. The mask was this thing where it was literally to the point where there are people that talked about this before, walking down the street. One of them had a mask, not the one not a mask in sight, and they were walking down the street civilly, peacefully as two humans. Why not here? Like you go to a store without a mask, you're gonna get bitched out.
Yeah,
like you're not just gonna get kicked out. Like imagine you're going to the store to get
not
food
Connecticut
for your family.
Though. Not
really?
Connecticut, because when I go record Inappropriality, I usually have to go there, grab a beer and grab something to roll some weed up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just walk in, I walk out. Nobody looks at me. Nobody tells me
Really
that I need to wear a mask. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And this is Connecticut. That's it's a democratic, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's kind of odd that the people are not like, oh, is your mask?
It depends. Yeah, it also depends on the store where you go to.
Well, I did that.
Oh, we were at Enfield and we were.
Don't divulge these secrets. Yeah. There's a.
They care.
Yeah, I live in Enfield too.
But it don't matter though, because I could do the same thing and go to one of the little hood spots in Springfield, and they're not having it. No
Really?
mask, no service. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the difference? What's going on in Connecticut?
I will be honest like that, because I live in Enfield too, and it's just been the whole time it's definitely felt a little bit more lax than Massachusetts.
See?
The whole time.
I told you. See,
whenever all the stuff with the rollouts, the phases, and the curfew, we never. I think we maybe had one curfew this whole time, but it was never as bad as Mass.
I gotta keep telling myself that you're jumping like state lines.
Yeah.
You're not at home. Like things are gonna be different, and you go there and it feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vermont and New Hampshire are like that too. Like I remember we went
lenient.
Very. Yeah. They're not. Like I didn't have a mask. I went to get a drink at one of the.
You got more moose than you do people.
Yeah. And so I'm like doing this, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay," and I'm like, "Oh, thank God," you know what I mean? Like, cool.
I need to be there.
I'm here.
Oh, in that case,
I'm here where there's still like humans. I start throwing up. Become a big problem.
Yesterday we were in the city, and Mike and I were.
Do you want one more of those, by the way?
Oh, please.
Yeah, gotcha.
We're walking through the crowd, and everybody's like masked up, and we're like the only oddballs, just like walking through the crowd, just trying to get by, no mask on. And my thing is like, we're in open air, and if we're not walking too close to each other, I don't feel that I have to have a mask on while we're walking in the open air. Now, if we were to be in a confined room like this, I'm gonna throw it on, and then I throw it on because I just don't want to hear nobody's mouth.
Exactly.
I don't even think that these masks are helping, because most of the times people are reusing the mask. We're using it more than what we're supposed to.
Reuse, renew, recycle. I've used masks off the ground in the parking lot.
Holy.
No, I'm just kidding. But my grandpa almost did. You know what I mean? He was, it's a good mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you see how they're making you feel like, because now you can't go to the store without a mask. So now you're willing to risk your life.
I was at a
to
Cumbies
pick
the
that
other
up
day.
on the floor to just pop it in.
Yeah,
I was just being absent-minded
right,
the other day, going to a Cumbies, and I was about to walk in, and I'm like, just pump some gas. I'm like, yeah, let me go grab a drink. I get to the door, and then I saw the sign, and
right
I'm like,
there.
Shit, that's what I forgot.
You know what really bugs me too, and with all the research and the trials and this and that, never has there been, at least you could probably double check me on this, and I haven't checked in a while, but there hasn't been any peer-reviewed studies that prove that the masks work, and the head of the CDC has come out about it, head of the WHO has come up, but like there's no conclusive research that shows that they work like that. What does work though is that if you're somebody who's worried, don't leave your house. And you're met with this awkward look as though that is too much to ask. It's like that's been the case since day one. You don't want to get in a car crash? Don't fucking drive a car. It's really that simple. It sucks, but if you're going to have a phobia, that's the world you live in. If you're afraid of spiders or germs, you're going to be dealing with a completely different set of psychological battles on the day-to-day. And if you're hyper fearful of getting a virus or seeing a spider or getting in a car crash, you're going to probably have to take extra steps for yourself to be okay.
Yeah,
but to make everybody conform to your irrationality is a little too much to ask.
Not even to cut you off, Mike. This might even be like random, but damn, I don't want the heat to come down for this, but I don't even think those numbers are real. I don't care, man.
Oh no, I mean,
I don't think those numbers. I'm not saying that people are not passing away from this.
Yeah.
That this thing is not real, because I believe around this time last year, I believe it had corona before they even knew what it was, because I've never felt so sick in my life. I'm talking about like a migraine that lasted for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
My sense of smell, taste, gone. Body aches.
Ooh.
I know.
You sound like you got it.
Yeah, I know I did.
And you probably have the antibodies.
But I beat it.
Yeah.
So that's why I want us to focus more on those
and
numbers. Why are we focusing on these numbers?
Right. Like
let's focus on the good things.
Exactly. It's they can
got my poor grandmother freaked out.
Right. Well,
watching this bullshit on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got her glued to this fucking bullshit.
And it's day in and day out.
Already got her mind. She's fixated.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off. Like,
if you hear about death in any number more than one on a daily basis, since especially March, so we're talking about a year's worth of the same.
Wow, it's been
thing.
a year. Wow.
Imagine that. And
time flies when you're having fun.
You're gonna start creating phobias, and that's what's happened. That's why I said even if they didn't make us shut down, people were too scared to come anyways.
Yeah, like her, she'll be a little scared to go out, and like you said, like if you're scared, stay in the house. That's her.
Yeah, find some way to survive.
You'll see her go out once in a blue. But then she's older too, so of course we wanna protect her. We don't want her, out here, because I do believe it's real. But for the people like us, like the younger folks who we've got it and we beat it, I feel like that's what we need to be focusing on.
And it's paying attention to, like you were saying, the statistics that actually matter, even with the numbers being a little fudged. And this is known that comorbidities count as a death regardless of what actually killed them. Like if you die of a heart attack and had COVID, you're going to have a COVID death. That's how they get the numbers. And it's not really a conspiracy. That's just how it's done. Like my friend's a nurse. They have to mark it down. It's part of their job. So
why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's. I think one, it's a fantastic way to scare people a little bit more.
Did they have a heart attack due to COVID?
Well, they'll say,
you know what I mean?
Complication.
Well,
it's a complication.
Yeah,
but,
it's kind of just the way they always document deaths whenever
Yeah.
there's something related to a disease or cancer. Like a good one I've seen is like with cancer patients. A lot of the times, like, they don't die because of the cancer. It's because of, like...
They got sick from something else.
Yeah,
like they got pneumonia.
But it can sometimes be written down that way. It's just the way, like... It unfortunately is just the way they, like, what they're reporting in the documentation.
So, no, I think there's been a lot of things that have created irrational behavior in people. That's the bottom line. I mean, I like to try and not veer into what my opinion is and what is real. And what is real, based off of just what you were saying too, that regardless of, even if those numbers were 100% legitimate, and that every single death that they have counted as a COVID death was 100% due to COVID, which is not the case. CDC has the numbers out there. You can check if you want, for those of you who are listening. But my point is that it's still 99.8% of the population is fine. You know what I mean? So how many people are dead because of COVID? Like 2 million or something like that. There's almost 8 billion people on the planet. 1% of that is,
and that's not
80,
even to downplay That's not even to downplay a death or making it seem like it's not important or is minimal. No,
death is just
we deserve to have the
yeah.
answers. We deserve to be told the truth. Like at this point, I don't even care about my opinion. I just want to know the truth.
Well, here's something that was crazy. I was just listening to a podcast with Justin Wren.
512 in the U.S.
512,000, probably 2 million worldwide. 80 million is 1% of the population worldwide as well. So you can do these stats in your head. Stats aren't opinionated. That's just what it is. But you have to look at what these shutdowns and the masks and the socially distancing stuff does to people from a social standpoint.
Man, fucking up these kids. I tell you that much.
Yeah. Well,
fucking
look
up
at
these kids.
Japan in January of this year. Japan had more deaths due to suicide than COVID total from last year altogether.
You know what?
And it's all because of social.
I also heard
stuff.
Somebody told me that they got ties to like Bay State or whatever, that they have more intake for child suicide prevention than child COVID cases. That's alarming.